Calling you a radical. So what a project this has turned into. So it's the time of year the geese start coming back. So I was over the hospital having lunch, and the flock that was born right here, they're over there. There was 12, mom and dad, count mom and dad, 10. They're down to 9, but when I was there, it's that time they start moving. And really by the hundreds, many hundreds, they've been coming on this pond their whole lives. You know, this pond was a parking lot for a little while. That was in the 70s, 60s, but before that it was a pond, a wetland. And so these geese have made it here, born here. They live to be 35 years old. So the hospital pond, they've moved over there. I heard there's a few up at Glassman's. Of course, Glassman's plumb full of a bunch of ones that people dropped off. Remember all the domestics that were here that got dropped off? They finally got them out of here, thank goodness. They don't belong here. Well, it's a man-made pond. It is now. It is now. It wasn't. I mean, this camp's only been here since 1950. Oh, that's a long time. Not really. I mean, not Fukushima years. We live in Fukushima years now. You know, that's the opposite of, I've only had one beer in dog years. I love the shirts, by the way. So we had the 600 inches. We actually had close to 800 right there last year. After the mega drought, the heat bubble shifted. Yeah, I already talked to these guys. This has turned into way a bigger project than they thought. Because these guys, when they built this, it was so well thought out and so planned, so perfectly, so beautifully. I mean, that's back when you had these philanthropists in this incredible city that gave a shit. So these soldiers, trees that are along there, the sycamores, you see where the one's gone, they put 2 in there. So a tornado hit right here, blew the windows out of my car right over there. And yeah, this time of year, a few years ago. It took a little bit of the canopy out of one of these sycamores, and so there's a committee here, on what you could take out and what you can't. And I come over here and they're cutting it down. I'm like, whoa, whoa, no, 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 no. And the guy physically attacked me. You know, cops come, whatever. I understand. He says, I'm the arborist around here, but some young guy. I understand they don't even work here anymore. You know, they come and they go, like these university professors. Oh, God. They've had some doozies over the years. Right? Ooh. 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 They had some dirty ones. I like the one now, Brad, but look what he's up against, Utah State Legislator. So, it's a long journey. Where's the smoke come from? Plutonium fires, a country of deniers. What a metaphor. So get this. So they've been tearing out all of it. You know, I'm so connected with this pond, so it's historical, all those videos. Remember, there was another willow right there. I used to call it Megan Rice. Remember it blew down? You know, I'm so connected because of these Fukushima, you know, on Nuclear University. Here, get this. All of a sudden, right across the street from my house, you know, I live in the boonies out there in West Weaver, beautiful site. I see him start dumping. And I'm like, well, what are you doing over here? And I talk to the guy. Oh, they're giving away the free. I says, it's got plastic and all kinds of stuff in it. You know, it's runoff from hell. It's not healthy. You know, now they're getting down to the deeper stuff. Dumping it right across the street from my house. Free, toxic, freaking dirt. Well, it's urban runoff. Of course, you got a lot of organic material from the geese that have always been here. But what an evolution. What a metaphor. Way more complicated than they thought. They were just going to knock it down 4 feet and concrete it all. You know, algae problems. What doesn't have algae problems? It's hot, baby. It's hot. And don't confuse the heat bubble with the drought, vice versa. The drought here ended. As Kevin Blanch predicted the drought here, the great heat bubble. And I'm the guy that told you before the drought ended last year. And I got more than 600 inches. I found this at Savers. That's Snow Basin right there. The bubble shifted. And I'm the guy that named it the Great North American Heat Dome, Heat Bubble. Before it happened, play back the tape here. I'm the guy that named it. I'm the guy that told you the heat bubble was shifting and moving over Canada. Just the greatest drought in 1,200 years caused by the heat bubble. The heat bubble shifted north. It's unarguable. Plutonium fires, the country deniers. This pond's so historic because I've done all those videos. My favorite's the one I stood right there, like March 12th, 11th, 13th, 2011. Don't believe them. Don't believe them. They're lying on these meltdowns of Fukushima. Just a hydrogen blast. No one will call it even one nuclear meltdown. They still won't use the word meltdown. Nobody, even the so-called half-nukers, wouldn't use the word meltdown for years. Kevin Blanch, I told you they were meltdowns right there. I stood right there and I says, don't believe them. Don't believe them. Just remember when these lies thereof, you're going to look back 10, 12 years from now, you're going to remember these lies. You're going to flip your soup can? Yeah. Just remember, they're going to tell these lies. Just remember, Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. No, he didn't. Pat Tillman fired up $9 billion later. Al-Qaeda in Valor. No, he didn't. His old man shot him. Jessica Lynch got a Congressional Medal of Honor for valor. Blah, blah. No. She had to sue her own government to give it back. She was cowered down in the bottom of a Hummer. Just remember thereof when you look back. The election of 2000. Just remember thereof the Fukushima disaster. They told you this is just a hydrogen blast, not meltdowns. Just remember Kevin Blanch told you these are full blown out for the first time in human history. Just remember. Remember. The 5th of November? No. All that work I did there. So get up, Fuku. Come on. You got too much in your soup can bag. Coco. Where's Fuku? Come on, get out, Fuku. There's Fuku. Come on, Fuku. There's your soup can, Fuku. Ah, you got enough in that little bag? By the way, I was at the worst baseball game in history last night. Oh. Anyway, I got a ball from it. So I stood right here and told you. Don't believe them. I got this shirt at Savers Sunday for $2. So I stood right here and warned the world. Did the greatest PhD in human history. It's going to give you cancer. I got cancer. Went to the bone marrow science on 11/11/11. The whole journey, you watched it. First year of Palestine. These are lying. They're lying. These are the full-blown out nuclear meltdowns. First time in human history. Standing right here. Just remember, Pat Tillman fought up 9 million. I didn't know he didn't know. Colin Powell. Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass. No, he don't. George W. Bush won the 2000. No. Just remember, they're up 10, 12 years now after the frogs have been boiled nicely. They'll tell you these are meltdowns. These are full-blown out nuclear meltdowns. And first time in human history, why are we so afraid of nuclear meltdowns? We're afraid of nuclear meltdowns. We're afraid of nuclear meltdowns. Until they happen, then we're the down. Go to Europe. They're not in denial. Angela Merkel, a nuclear physicist, Fukushima, she says, that's it. We're done. We're done. Shut them all down. So, in fact, they're not pouring concrete in Europe. They're tearing concrete out of ponds and put back organic. But we're a little backwards here. Car America, consumption junkie. Make up less than 4% of the world's population. We're consuming well over 50% consumption junkie. Oh, Fuku. Where's Fuku? Sorry, Fuku. I forgot you, Fuku. Fuku. Coco. Fuku and Coco. Fuku, you're looking a little mutated. Well, my cousins, in the harbor of Fukushima this year, before they supposedly started the Tower to Babel fairy tale line tank water dump, which the towers to Babel, how much water did they really catch? Typhoons. My cousins got caught, and there was 18,000 becquerels of cesium-137 per kilogram in their flesh. Looking a little mutated, Coco. What did Coco say to Fukushima killed my food. Fuku. We too from the sea, plankton feeders. I'm a marine biologist. I'm a zoologist. I'm a science professor at Weber State University. I work for the Bush administration. I work for the Trump administration. Excuse me, the Trump administration, the Bummer Dummer administration, the Biden administration. How's it going? What a project you guys got on your hands,
Yeah,
huh?
it's a heck of a project.
Yeah, I've been watching it. So, what's that, Coco? Fukushima broke the chain. It killed my food. What's that, Coco? We too from the sea. It's the ecology, Kevin D. Save me, save me. So I remember walking on the coast and I was protesting at Diablo. I used to do that event, Blue Hearts on Valentine's Day, and that's before I knew the Chumash called it the Mother's Heart. The Chumash got it re-engaged again. They're back. There's a family of seals, the last big family I've seen, clear across the bay. You're standing on the pier. I'm at Pismo, actually. I'm with Joe, the famous photographer, who was photographing. They were trying to tag all the sea lions and seals in 2012, 13, 14, when the collapse was happening to them. They were starving to death, and they would put an orange tag on them. They wanted to put two. Noah wouldn't let them. And he says, we went back out the next year. He has a rowboat, him and his two sons, and he says, we only found one with our orange tag on it from the year before, the pup, that survived starvation event. We named it Blanche. So he drove all the way just to get photographers and be part of that event. Blue Hearts on Valentine's Day at Diablo, TikTok, Diablo Canyon Club. Seals clear processes. Watch this. You want to see something cool? Watch this. He's got video on photography, and I'm like, and I call him here. Heads up, I call him. They come all the way. I mean, right up under the pier, right there. They're right under me, and I'm right there, and I'm talking to them. Mom, dad, brothers, sisters, cousins, grandpa, grandma, the whole tribe. Joe's like, oh my God, I would not have believed that if I didn't see it with my own eyes. Yeah. I've developed this over the years. You know, probably the greatest marine biologist in human history, Kevin Blanch. In the high desert of Utah. Always there on that, watching that moon cycle. It's full moon tonight. I would be there, but we're not going to get that low tides anyway. And my doctor says, maybe you should finish up this, rehab. I've had open heart surgery this year, pacemaker. I can't believe I just saw that. Yeah. They're 99% us. I know how to talk to them. Our DNA, they're weak. We are from the sea. What are they saying, Kevin? They're saying, Kevin, Fukushima killed our food. The anchovies and sardines are gone. It's a acute radical collapse. Save us, Kevin. Save us. What did you say to them? I am. I'm trying. I'm trying everything I can. What'd they say back? Try harder. What did you say? Okay, I will. And I have the whole time. I fight for her. She fights for we from the sea. There's so few seals now. You don't hardly ever see them anymore. Once in a while, I'll see one. My grandson was with me in Monterey. We went all the way over Big Sur, and we got over the top there at San Simeon. It was on the pier at San Simeon, underneath the castle. It's a cool place, by the way. You can see why Randolph Hearst picked it. That's where I met that radical, Patty Hearst. I was with Jules, and she grew up with her, and we were at the store getting some stuff. I was staying at Pismo this same trip. And she said, Kevin, there's Patty Hearst right there shopping. She had her card. She had her long hair like it. You want to meet her? Yeah. Walked over. Oh, hi, Jules. Hi, Patty. I went to school. I mean, it's such a teeny town. Still is, San Simeon. This is Kevin Blanch. He's the anti-nuker. He's working here trying to shut down Diablo Canyon. He's part of the group that got San Onofre shut down. He's the Fukushima activist. He's working on it. He's kind of a radical. Oh, that's so lovely, Kevin. That's so great. It's just a pleasure to meet you. It's like a little old grandma. And by the way, her husband recently died of cancer. So we leave. I told Jules, I said, do you realize you just introduced me to Patty Hearst as a radical? She says, oh my God, I did. Don't drop Coco. Uh-oh, don't drop Fuku. Fuku, Fuku and Coco. Fukushima broke the chain. You promised you would never break the chain. Big fish eat little fish. Do you know 60,000? What did the 60,000 pound humpback whale say to the tiniest Upper California purple urchin, to the anchovy, to the sardine, to the California crimson sea star, to the Upper California purple urchin? Fukushima killed my food. Killed my food. What did the 60,000 pound humpback whale say to the Upper California? We too, from the sea. Well, 60,000 pound humpback whale is a filter feeder. They plankton. He broke the chain. Remember the starvation event on the wells? And I'm walking, documenting. So I'm out of camera. I'm sick. I'm dying of cancer. 2014, 15. I'm at, not Moss Landing, Half Moon Bay. I'm cold. I'm out of food. I'm out of water. Struggling. The sun's coming up. And I almost got a waterbed that night. And I'm really struggling. My cameras are dead. I had a little flip camera in those days. Remember, I used to set it up right here with my tripod, my famous tripod. And I walk around the corner, the sun's just peeking up, and I could see in the shadows over there this giant fin. I'm like, oh no, is that what I think it is? That's a washed up well. So it was a long walk. I got over there, and there was a mama. She had blood coming out of her womb, and I could see the baby floating, dead. And she was in her dying quivers right in her last breath. And I walked up, put my hand on her. Her eyeball was bigger than my whole being. And her eyeball kind of came open. It startled me. And she made her last gulp and died. So she's bleeding profusely. So I took my paint. I had a paint roller in my bag because I used to use it for props and do my this. Remember, I would paint this, and I have this, and I paint them on the fly. USS Reagan trial. And so I'm always painting things. I painted this at the IEA and at the UN with. Well, I painted this later at the Idaho National Lab. But originally, this side. Remember my little black dresses I used to walk around with? We do those protests in the moment, whatever. Eric Oppenheim and so many people, and Sandra and I, that great activist, her and I, we made that at the IEA, the Blanch office. And so, in its own blood, I wrote, Fukushima killed me on the well. Sun comes up, here comes all the, sheeple. Oh my God, this woman walks right. Oh my God, it's Kevin Blanch. The Fukushima guy. She's like, the typhoon guy. I said, that's the dead typhoon guy. She says, you're crazy. How could radiation kill a 600,000 pound whale? I says, I never said it did. It died of starvation. It killed its food. Well, she tried to argue and tell me they were salmon. They ate salmon and seals. I'm like, no, that's a killer whale. This is a hump. They're plankton feeders. And that's when they all started wash up dead, and I documented our army. Just another cute catastrophe. She calls the cops. Sure shit, here comes the cops, whatever. Did you do that? Yeah. It's in its own blood. I didn't. hurt the bean or whatever. He handcuffed me. I'm plastic handcuffs. Here comes the chief of police. I call him the white shirts. I always deal with the white shirts. He comes down and he says, Kevin Blanch. He told that guy, you take those cuffs off him right now. What are you trying to arrest him for? And he showed that. He says, that's not him. He says, Kevin Blanch doesn't deserve to be arrested. He deserves some kind of Nobel Prize, he says. He says, Kevin, can I do anything? Thank you for all your hard work. He says, my wife has leukemia. She watches every video you do. You're so much hope to her. I mean, you're like a legend to her. We love you. Can I do anything for you? And I said, I could use a juice. I know where there's a juice bar, they're almost into San Francisco. Come on. He drove me up there, bought me a juice, mentioned the money, gave me a little bit of cash. Thank you for everything you do. So all the same hippie cribs and people that were complaining about, don't touch the well, get this, they were complaining about the cell. In California, you have to let the well drip into the sea by law. Well, there's, hundreds of them washing up dead in those areas, starving to death. Get this, everybody was complaining about, oh, that smell, it's a dead well at Carmel. Oh, this is a half moon. They came in and cut it up with a chainsaw and threw it in the dump. I went crazy. I called that same guy that tried to arrest me. I went crazy on him. Oh, I can try to call attention just by in her own blood with a paint roller. Right in Fukushima killed me. That's bad, but you can cut it up with a chainsaw and throw it in the dump. That's okay? Well, I tried. What a PhD. What a journal. Great PhD in human history. This pond is so metaphorical. Go figure, I would have never believed that this bird would be dumped right across the street from my house. You know where I live, in the boonies, how beautiful it is there. What's the odds? Good Lord. What a journey, huh? As Einstein would say, your place in time, it feels like deja vu all over again, Yogi. Like Einstein said, I'm not sure if it was when Fermi died young. They all died young, including Oppie. They all died. Oppie died of stomach cancer, right? All those guys died young. Leo died young. Fermi died young. They all died young, the nuclear physicists. Einstein goes to the funeral, I believe in La Jolla. My grandparent, my mom, the La Jolla 10 Square. Why are you so upset? He's not dead. He's just in another dimension. Einstein would say, well, I feel like it's deja vu. I feel like I've been here and this is my place and my path and my time. That's because you probably have. You know what an anti-nuclear helix is. Easy, Fuku. Easy, Fuku. What a catch, Coco. You're looking a little mutated, Coco. Fuku and Coco. Huh. Kids, you're at university. You're supposed to be grown adults, being taught grown. But this is how they teach. Let's go back to 3rd grade. What did the big fish say to the little fish? What did the fish say when he's returning Chinook salmon? When he was swimming up the mighty, used to be called the Chief Joseph Dam, and he got to the Bonneville. Damn! What did the big fish say to the little Coco? Fukushima killed my food. 60,000 pound rock. We too. We from the sea. It's the ecologies, people. You broke the chain. You promised you would never break the chain. Greatest event in human history. The new calendar is day 4,500 and what? 55. Stay in tune. What a journey. What a journey. I just found this out today. I talked to my neighbor friends. They're always at work, they work 12, 14 hours a day. Where's the dirt come from? Did you say pond? No! Yeah. The irony of it, right when I got cancer, right there at the same place, when they tore down the Ogden Temple grounds and there was all kinds of stuff, they were hauling that old pickup truck, my beat up that's in my yard, I haven't been able to really take care of because I've been fighting for my life with cancer, open heart surgery, again, this winter for the second time, lost my gallbladder, you know, this ugly journey. The dirt that's in the back of that truck, I shoveled it over because I brought it in from the old Ogden Temple. You plumb full of all kinds of stuff, pioneer stuff. That's when I got cancer. That's 12 years right now. What a circle. 11. That number always, the good, the bad, the ugly, the number. But my new favorite, you know, 8. He stayed on its side. Bone marrow transplant. You know, 12 my number now. Why? That's the year I survived cancer. You know, I've always called it the Great Pacific Genocide. And you can go along with this. Greatest crime in human. Go ahead. Go ahead. I told you every single day, fighting for my life, standing right there. I told you. That's my favorite video I ever did, and that's saying a lot. Every single day, I never took a day off. 7 days a week, 364, 365, traveling all the world, including Indiana, including in D.C., including in New York City, including freaking the Coke House, you name it. I've been there, been fighting it, you know. What a body of work. And their answers to kettle me, I'll kettle. I did the work in real time, the greatest PhD in history. Shoot a tomato, sit there. Don't drop your dry cast container. Stand tuned. Fuku and Coco. Ken Buesler's on that study in 2011 in June. 1,000 times the becquerels of cesium 137, 40 kilometers off the coast of Japan. Their conclusion, it's already in the column. There's no stopping it. They covered that up. I'll post the tags. The greatest PhD in human history. First you hypothesize on, and then you do the field work. Write down, talk about field work. Neil Mine, Nobel Prize. Like I told the president of the university here, he says, you know, you're going to end up with a Nobel Prize. One, I says, A, try 4 or 5. Stand tuned. Didn't Nobel invent dynamite? Huh. I already got nominated for the alternative Nobel Prize by Frieda Meisenblau. And he being out the greatest anti-nuclear ever, who on her apartment on the 200th anniversary of Waterloo. Is this nuclear Waterloo? Oh, we're way past nuclear energy Waterloo. Yeah, maybe I'll tag this. She requested the hearing, the meeting. She was full of cancer, didn't tell anybody. The greatest anti-nuclear ever, who shut down the nuclear reactors in Austria. They don't have nuclear energy reactors in Austria. They don't have in Germany anymore. You know, they're shutting them down all over Europe. You know, they're not in Fukushima denial in the rest of the world. Here, oh boy, the nuclear energy emperors, plutonium skies, they have no clothes. Stay tuned.